Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving into the fascinating and complex life of Vincent Gigante. You may know him as the crazy guy that would walk around New York City in his pajamas and hat. He's one of the most notorious figures in Mafia history. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Now, let's get into it. Vincent Louis Gigante was born on March 29, 1928, in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, New York City. Growing up in a crowded tenement with his parents and four brothers, life wasn't easy. His parents were Italian immigrants who had come to America seeking a better life. But for young Vincent, the streets of New York offered something different. As a teenager, Vincent found a passion for boxing. Standing at 5 feet 7 inches and fighting in the light heavyweight division, he quickly made a name for himself. By the time he was in his early 20s, Vincent had racked up an impressive record, winning 21 out of his 25 professional matches. But despite his promise in the ring, Vincent was drawn to the underworld. By the early 1950s, Vincent traded his boxing gloves for a different kind of power. He joined the Genovese crime family, one of the biggest mafia families in New York. His rise through the ranks was swift, thanks to his loyalty, cunning, and ability to avoid law enforcement. Vincent Gigante became known as the Chin, a nickname reportedly stemming from his mother's habit of calling him Cincenzo, a variation of his name. But what really set Gigante apart was his unique strategy for avoiding the law, pretending to be insane. For decades, Gigante was often seen wandering the streets of Greenwich Village in a bathrobe and slippers, muttering to himself. He would urinate in public and perform other bizarre acts, all to create the illusion of mental illness. This act, while peculiar, was incredibly effective. It earned him the nickname the Oddfather and kept him out of prison for years. Despite his eccentric public persona, Gigante was a ruthless and calculating leader behind the scenes. In the 1980s, he became the boss of the Genovese family, one of the most powerful crime families in America. Under his leadership, the family thrived, engaging in various illegal activities such as racketeering, extortion, and even orchestrating hits on rival mobsters. The FBI was determined to bring Gigante down. For years, they gathered evidence, conducted surveillance, and worked to unravel his web of deception. Finally, in 1990, they made a significant breakthrough. Using wiretaps and informants, they gathered enough evidence to indict Gigante on multiple charges. But it wasn't until 1997 that Vincent Gigante was finally convicted. The trial was a media spectacle, with the prosecution presenting a mountain of evidence, including taped conversations and witness testimonies. Gigante's defense team, however, maintained that he was mentally unfit to stand trial. Despite their efforts, the jury found him guilty on charges of racketeering and conspiracy to commit murder. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Even in prison, Gigante continued his act. He shuffled around in his bathrobe, kept to himself, and maintained his facade of insanity. But in 2003, the charade came to an end. Facing additional charges and pressure from prosecutors, Gigante finally admitted that his mental illness had been an act all along. This confession added 3 more years to his sentence. Vincent the Chin Gigante passed away on December 19, 2005, at the age of 77. He died in prison, but his legacy lives on. Gigante is remembered as one of the most cunning and elusive mob bosses in history, a man who outsmarted the law with his bizarre and brilliant act. So, what do you think about Vincent Gigante's story? From the boxing ring to the Mafia's upper echelons, and ultimately to prison, his life was a wild ride. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comments which Mafia figure you'd like us to cover next. And remember, for more intriguing stories, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.